Hello, hello, welcome back. Let me show you something. This video is about expectations. So, if you look at this chocolate bar, well, the packaging of the chocolate bar, here we've got Ferrero Rocher. Now, this is not your usual Ferrero, is it? Because the one we all know is this one here, right? The round chocolate. Whereas this is a chocolate bar. So they are different things. I am a massive fan of Ferrero Rocher. I could actually tell you that I think it's my number one chocolate. It's my favorite chocolate. So when I saw this, I was intrigued. That's a good word. I was intrigued. I was wondering whether or not it would be a good idea to try this. I thought when I first saw this structure is lovely. When I first saw this means the first time I saw it. When I first saw this, I thought, I think this is a really good one. So I decided to give it a go. To give something a go means to try it. I decided to give it a go. And it is, in fact, quite nice. Quite nice means not amazing, not completely nice, not the best chocolate in the world, but quite nice. It's good enough. It's not what I was expecting because when I purchased this, purchased is the same as bought. When I purchased this, I had high expectations based on the fact that the one at the top is one of my favorite chocolates, if not my favorite. So you can imagine that when you see something that is kind of another version of something that you already love, you're thinking, I'm going to love this too. That's how one of the ways that our expectations are created. And I didn't love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was okay, but then I realized that, and obviously this video is not about chocolate. Remember, we're talking about something else. I'm using this to illustrate what I'm thinking and to help you guys understand what I'm thinking. So when I think about this chocolate, I think that it's literally just the center, the filling of Ferrero. So the hazelnutty kind of flavor is there, which is lovely. But there's something missing, two things missing actually. The nut in the middle, so you've got a whole walnut in the center when you eat Ferrero. That is missing, and I love that. I love the crunch of that. And the actual shell, you know, what's outside the whole creamy filling. The shell is missing. And to me, those are very important things for the whole Ferrero experience. When we're talking about, let me put this down, free hands. When we're talking about expectations, we have to remember that they always come from some sort of assumption. So something that we believe to be true, something we have assumed, something that we have kind of understood to be right. And that can be very misleading. So when something is misleading, it takes you to the wrong kind of way. So you were expecting this chocolate to taste very similar to a Ferrero. So I'm going this way because that's the idea I have based on the fact it's called Ferrero Rocher. Yeah. So I'm going this way and then I eat it and I'm actually, no, I'm really going this way here. So it's misleading. It gives me the wrong idea. It gives me the wrong expectations. And with learning a language, there are so many things that can be very misleading and that help us create wrong expectations about our learning and therefore feel very frustrated as a result. Let me give you some examples. Doing an exchange abroad. The idea is really magical, isn't it? Wow, I'm going to live in London for 1 month. So it's a 30-day exchange. I'm going to go to school in London. I'm going to learn English in London. I'm going to live with a British family for 30 days and it's going to be amazing. So the expectation is super high because the idea behind a student exchange is really cool. It's a magical experience. And then you go to London for 30 days and you realize that, and this is not the case for everyone all the time, but it is the case more often than not. More often than not means very often. You realize that your school is full of people from your nationality. So if you are, let's say, Italian, there are lots of Italians in your class. If you are Brazilian, like me, I can tell you for sure, there are lots of Brazilians in your class. The teachers are teaching grammar and more grammar and more grammar. So you're there for 3 hours a day and it's boring and it's repetitive and you don't like it. And then you have your break time and you go off and you talk to the people from your nationality. So as an Italian, you find the other Italian there and you start talking Italian. And you find, as a Brazilian, you find another Brazilian there and you start talking Portuguese. And so you very quickly realize that the expectations were wrong and they were very high and reality is not meeting the expectation. And then the English family you are going to live with are very quiet people. They're not actually interacting with you. They're really just renting you a room and nothing else. They don't want anything to do with you. They don't want to be friends with you. They don't want to take you out to see the city and talk to you and help you practice your English. So you can see how very quickly the whole illusion of a student exchange has changed. And how did that happen? It happened because you had an expectation that wasn't met. This means the reality did not match the expectation. That's one example. Another example, Duolingo. So you spend hours on Duolingo, you get like medals and trophies, you get some sort of reward the more hours you spend on Duolingo. So you're spending so many hours there, you're thinking, whoa, my English has really improved and now I'm ready, I'm going to travel, I'm going to go to, I don't know, Australia because I'm moving to Australia and I've spent hours on Duolingo, so I'm sure I'm going to get there and I'm going to be fine. And then you arrive in Australia and you can't even understand what the immigration officer is asking you because the immigration officer is not talking to you like Duolingo is talking to you. And they're not using the vocabulary you have learned on Duolingo, nor are they using the structures you have learned on Duolingo, because that is real life. Duolingo is not real life. It's a pastime. It's a way for you to pass your time. It's a way for you to be entertained when you're bored, nothing else. So you have this huge expectation because you've spent hours on Duolingo, and then reality comes in and you actually have the chance to use English, to speak English with someone, and you realize that your English was not what you expected. The Duolingo was telling you, well done, you're doing great, but in fact, your English was not improving very much at all. Another example of high expectations that are usually not met. You have decided to move abroad, you're going to move to Ireland, and in your head, this is how things are going to go down. I'm going to move to Ireland, and after maybe a year, I'm going to be very fluent, I'm going to be fine, and I'll be able to get a job in my field, and I'm going to be completely settled in the country. This means you know how things work, you feel good about the language, the culture, the people, the weather. I'm going to be settled. After a year, my English is going to be fluent. I'm going to be fine. And then you go to Ireland and you start living a life in Ireland, and a year passes very quickly. And when you get to the end of that year, you realize your English has improved very little in most cases, or it has improved. yeah, but you're nowhere near fluent. So literally, this is it. It's like this is fluency and this is you. That's the reality. And you expected to be here after a year and you're not. So again, high expectations that were not met. But if you think about it, those 3 examples I gave you today, they only happen because of lack of information. And that's why I feel that recording a video like this is so important. Because when you have high expectations that are not met, this comes with a huge load of frustration and self-pity. You feel sorry for yourself, and self-doubt. All of those bad feelings that we get when something doesn't go the way we planned or the way we thought they were going to go. So this kind of video is so important for you to be able to really have the right expectations when you do something. So when you go to an exchange, don't expect to learn lots of English from a traditional school in 30 days, because that's not going to happen. Don't expect to live with people who will want to show you the city and entertain you. You're going to have to do that for yourself. And in those 30 days, you're going to have to find ways to be exposed to the language as much as you can. And trust me, that's going to happen outside the classroom. And also, when you are spending time on Duolingo, understand you're just playing a game. And when you decide to move to Ireland or any other place that speaks English, understand that after a year, you're probably not going to be fluent, and you're probably not going to be completely settled, because that takes longer. So do you see how when you know what to expect, you can relax more and you can be happier doing things you've chosen to do, because you're not expecting this chocolate bar to taste like Ferrero Rocher, because it's not. It's just a silly version of Ferrero. It's not the actual thing, the real thing. Yeah, does that make sense? I hope it does. This is not to say that I don't like this chocolate. I do, I just don't love it. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this conversation. I hope it has given you something to think about, and that from now on, you can have more realistic expectations with your learning. All right, thank you so much for being here today. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.